There's just another even shorter video, hopefully, of brewing on the Braumeister. Just check my settings. I'm just doing Dr. Smurdo's Golden Ale. So I'm mashing it at 25 degrees. First phase is 5 minutes at 52, and 75 minutes at 66, and then 10 minutes at 78. Boil for 90 minutes at 102. What I do want to do is just vent the pump first. Okay, so we're right to go. So I have 27 litres of water. It vents the pump anyway. So it's heating up to 25 degrees. Okay. Malt pipe. Drops in. Bottom screen. And I'm using 5.3 kilos of grain crushed at 1.5 millimeters. It'll hold that easy. Give that a little mix. And the top screen goes on with a little rubber seal around there. This bar. And now just a matter of start, and it starts. That's it. And then every 10 minutes or so it has a pump break which shuts everything down for about 30 seconds, lets the mash resettle, and then it just fires up by itself again. Yep, and away she goes again. still moving on to its first temperature step of 52 degrees. So it's at 36. Okay, it's reached 52 degrees. The heating element's gone off. The pump continues. I could have made 52 degrees my initial strike temperature, but it just saves it just gives the grain a bit more time in the water, putting it in at tap temperature, and it's activating enzymes all the way up from about 25 or 30 degrees anyway, so there's a little bit more happening in the mash. So that's it really, and I don't need to touch this thing from when I mash the grain in till basically it's finished mashing. I'm only doing this video so I don't have to do the lawn mowing, so the missus will catch up with me one day, but that's it. Okay, so what I'm making is just a golden ale. Pretty straightforward. So I'm using 27 litres of water. That way I only need to sparge with 8.8 litres. So I'll just use this urn that holds 9. So I'll go and heat up my water now and have it ready for the sparge. Also, this is the water filter I use. It's a carbon block filter, simple, 0.5 micron. Yeah, so it's just connected to the tap, little valve there, turn it on, away we go. Takes out all the chlorine and it still leaves the minerals in the water. Okay, it's finished at 52, it's on its way up to 66 degrees now for 75 minutes, and bearing in mind the 75 minutes does not start until it's reached 66 degrees. But obviously the pump keeps pumping and circulating the water, and it's still doing its thing. Okay, we've reached 66 and it's starting the 75 minutes there. One thing I didn't mention in the last video, I was having a little problem with the pump after the pump break not starting up, and I think I've resolved it now by making sure I do I manually vent the pump before I add the grain. So I think there was a little air bubble in here, and it was just playing havoc with it, but it seems it's working perfect today anyway. So as per the instructions, just manually vent the pump before starting the program and you won't have any problems. And now we're ramping up to 10 minutes at 78 degrees, and then we'll start the sparge. It's nice and clear, it's beautiful. Okay, we're done. So remove the malt pipe and I'll show you how we sparge. Okay, off with the lid. Off with the nut. Off with the bar. Place this thing here. And we simply lift. Let that drain for a bit. Now, because I'm in a bit of a hurry today, I will start the boil now. So I will press start, and the pump comes on and the heater's on. That's it. So I'll just put that back on to spread the water evenly, and I just like to do this nice and slow. There's no hurry, and that's it. Okay, so I taken the malt pipe out, just sitting on top of the lid, and it's just draining into a bucket. That's the grain. It looks pretty good, and this is working up to the boil. So at 84 degrees. So just reading the recipe. I'm after a pre-boil of 42 at 30 litres. Now, there's a lot more than 30 litres in there, but we'll have a look. So what are we after? Pre-boil of 42. Yeah, that's pretty good. I would say that's 42, just a little under, but there's a lot more volume in there than 30 litres, 30.5 litres, so that's good, and that's working on 80% efficiency. Now, I had this cracked at 1.5 mils. It's a little bit coarser than last time, but so there's a little bit of a drop in efficiency possibly, but I'm still on cue for 80%, and certainly know everything's cracked. It's pretty nice to me. And that's what was left. Have to be a litre there, and I just did a gravity reading of that, and it's at 1020, so that's nice, and that is well over 30.5 litres. I've got a mark in there at 30, and that's down there at the bottom of the teaspoon. So it's well over 30 litres, 30.5 litres, so it looks good. Someone asked what I clean up with in my last video, and I just used one of these scrubby pads. Apparently it's a non-scratch one, and just water, and all comes up like brand new. Very easy. Okay, so we've hit 100 degrees, even though it's set on 102. That'll just keep the heating element on, because obviously it won't boil any hotter than 100 degrees. And that's it boiling. Not jumping out the kettle, but it's that's a good boil. Okay, we're at time for a 20-minute hop addition, so that can go in. And my yeast is out of the fridge. Yep, ready to go. And just for the sake of the argument, I will stick my chiller in now to kill any nasties that can sit there. Yeah, so the malt pipe's all washed up, everything's clean, and yeah, there we go. Okay, Mr. Spiedel has informed me we're finished, end of boiling, and It's all good. Now what I do is I go to manual mode and I turn the pump on. I go to manual mode and I turn the pump on, and that will recirculate around the chiller. Okay, it's all done. It's been cooled with the immersion chiller, drained into the fermenter, and now I'll just put her in the fridge. Okay, time to clean this thing. I've given it a quick hose out. I've put a little bit of water in there, set the heater, the temperature to 60, so it's going up slowly. So it's pretty clean. This is sodium bicarbonate, and as you can see, nothing really happens to it. Well, sodium bicarbonate doesn't get activated until about 55-60 degrees, so we'll wait till that warms up. And as you can see, the heater's on. I'll even turn the pump on, and I can touch the element, and it's hot, but it's not super hot. It's just the surface area of the element gets it up and boiling. And as you can see, that sodium bicarbonate still hasn't moved, so we'll let this get a bit hotter, and I'll just give it a light scrub out, and that'll be clean as a whistle. Okay, now we're at 60. I'll just turn the pump off and throw some sodium bicarbonate in. It should fizz up. That's doing its thing. I'll give that a little scrub and that'll be it. And it's all good. Well, that's it. It's all clean. I'll just show you what I do now. I've got it upside down, draining. Simple, one hand. This is the pump, and that's it. It's pretty clean. That's just a bit of grease I put on there before, so that's nice and clean. Oops, that's just a bit of grease I put on before. It's all nice and clean. It's all good. I'll just give that a wipe out, and that's it. It makes for a very easy brew day. So if anyone's interested, give Mark from Mark's Homebrew a call in Newcastle. He'll sort you out, a good deal, and look after you. Okay, see you later.